So, good evening. I would like to kick us off by introducing you to Harris. The idea, this concept of the open mic started with Harris in my backyard. We were having basically, Harris said that he wished that was the first thing that he was looking forward to seeing what happened once the world opened again. Open mics was what he was looking forward to doing. And I said, wait a minute, can't we do this with Spirit Uncensored? Can't we do this over Zoom? So we tried it out in October. It went pretty well. And usually in December, Spirit Uncensored does an interfaith sing-along. And even though Ahaya is doing a sing-along on Christmas Eve, I felt like Zoom was not the best platform for a sing-along. And so it seemed like it was a good time for us to do our open mic event. And so Harris agreed to serve as the co-host, which I've been really grateful for. He's been involved in helping me plan and execute and market these events, so I'm super grateful. We definitely are expecting more people later. And Harris, I want to throw it over to you to talk a little bit more about what this experience is about this evening.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. But you kind of summed it up. I mean, it's more about the theme for this open mic. But like you said, yeah, we were just chatting, and something that I really missed about when the world was open was how many opportunities like people had to perform just all over the place, whether that be like open mics or galleries or anything. And I told Karen that I really missed that, and she literally said what she just said. She was like, "Wait, we can just do this. We have a platform to do this. Why don't we just do it?" And I said, "Oh, all right." And with the bountiful energy that Karen has, she helped me put this together, and so I'm super grateful to Karen for that. And our theme this time around is Festive AF. And the reasoning for that, the reasoning that we didn't do this a little bit earlier actually, is because my great friend Karen really loves this holiday season. She told me that this was her favorite season. And so I agreed to wait. I kind of just wanted to keep doing it as a monthly thing, but maybe that will happen in the future. But yeah, today we're all about the festive energy that is surrounding us. It's kind of a little bit watered down since we're all kind of going through something that doesn't make us feel super festive. But we can still find that within ourselves because we remember what it's like, and we remember what this holiday is all about and what all of these holidays are all about. And that's why I like festive as a theme, because it doesn't simply describe Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or anything, you know. Festive is something that people just use for celebrations. And so what I would love to happen is if we all kind of just got filled up with that celebratory energy from sharing our art and experiencing each other's art as well. And there's just so many things to celebrate. Like everyone that's on here right now, everyone that we know still has their health with them. These are just all things that I want to be grateful for and that I want to put through this event right here. So thanks for showing up.
Thank you, Harris. I love that you talked about like that gratitude is that theme that really shines through. And regardless of some of us who may have lost people from COVID or know people who are currently suffering from COVID, especially in the last few weeks, that we are all participating in doing the best that we can to have a delightful holiday season of participating in interfaith holiday events, and at the same time, you know, doing what we can to be grateful for what is working in our lives, what there is to celebrate. And so I would like to kick us off with lighting the candles, lighting the menorah for Hanukkah. This is the menorah that I got as a kid. I think I got this for Hanukkah when I was sometime in my teens, and they're these little like Jewish bears. So this does not look like a traditional menorah, but this is the one I have, and it's my own sort of family menorah. It's the one that I take out. I get my Hanukkah candles. I do not light these every day of the year, or of all 8 days generally. I just do it for things like this. Even when I was a kid, I had a tendency to bring my menorah to school because I was usually the only Jewish kid in school. I was raised in both Christian and Jewish faiths, which is why I have a Christmas tree and a Hanukkah in my house. And when I was growing up, I always wore a cross and also a Star of David walking around. So interfaith has always been has been my jam to begin with. Is what brought me to the Centers for Spiritual Living, just because I wanted to be a part of a spiritual organization that celebrated God, and it was not, these are the rules that are right, these are the rules that are wrong, and nobody gets to mix. Spirit Uncensored is designed to be this interfaith space for us to celebrate anything and celebrate the winter holidays. And so for Hanukkah celebrates the day when, I wrote this down so I'd have this handle. Hanukkah is called the Festival of Lights, and it's about the day that the oil burned for 8 days and they only had enough oil for one. And it commemorates the Maccabees' triumph over the Syrians and the rededication of the temple. And so there are 9 prongs on the menorah. And in the first night, we light the shamash in the center and say this blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidashunu b'mitzvotav v'tzavanu lehadlek ner shel Hanukkah. And I always screw up that part in the middle because my Hebrew is the worst. And usually when we sing this blessing, there are 2 different blessings, and that first one is the only one my family sang. So it's the only one my Hebrew was comfortable enough to be able to sing out loud. The second one I've only heard once every few years, so it's just not as fresh in my mind. And obviously that first one wasn't super fresh in my mind either. But it is the blessing that I am comfortable to give. And what that means is, blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to kindle the Hanukkah light.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you. As I drink from my Christmas tea from my Christmas cup after lighting my Hanukkah candles.
Well, that's all right. Like we mentioned, this is an interfaith kind of deal, event, organization, community. So I feel like it's okay to mix them up a little bit with your Christmas tree in the background.
Glad you support me. Thank you, Harris. I'm gonna try and put this up so you all can see this menorah burning as it goes on and not set my house on fire.
And that's something to celebrate.
Right?
Oh.
Yay.
Excellent. So in the chat, Marcia asked what AF means, and I provided an explanation. I hope that it's accurate.
I agree. As fuck does stand for, or sorry, AF always stands for as fuck. So to be festive as fuck means that we are extra festive. Yes, absolutely. And I should add that where I got festive from is, it's a word Mariah Carey uses all the time. And as our queen of the holiday season, as a biracial lamb and giant fan of Mariah, I always have to find a way to shout her out. And festive is where I got that word from. And I felt like it was festive and fitting for this evening. Thank you for the question, Marcia.
Super appropriate. Mm-hmm. And it looks like Jessica just joined us too.
Yeah, she looks like she's in the dark someplace. Yeah. Walking around at night.
Looks like she might be driving. That's all right. But
she's in the car. She's in the back seat.
Yeah, so how do y'all feel about getting started?
I like that idea.
Cool. Um, just to kick us off, I think that I'm going to go first. Yes, thank you again, Marsha. Uh, so, like I said, we're celebrating a lot of things this season. There are like so many different holidays. I want to say that come to my mind right away, like four that we celebrate just this month. We, as like a people, maybe not separate communities, but the ones that I can think of off the top of my head are Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and then New Year's, which is at the end of this month. And I heard this poem by an artist that I really admire, Brittany Howard, who was also mixed. And I was listening to the words of this poem, and I just thought that it was like it's my favorite kind of New Year's resolution is what this poem is. It's several declarations, and I think that it's the right kind of energy that I want going into this next year, which is so full of hope for all of us with the new medical advances that are being made and the distribution that's happening. But yeah, so here's this poem. I promise to think before I speak, to be wary of who I give my energy to, because it is needed for a greater cause, greater than my own pride. And that cause is to spread the enlightenment of love, compassion, and humanity to those who are not touched by its light. I stand to protect and focus myself in the betterment of my fellow being. We are brothers and sisters, each and every one. I promise to love my enemy and never become that which is not God. I dedicate my spirit in the service of what is good and fair and righteous every day I am alive. I'm given opportunities to become that which I admire most of others. I am nonviolent. I am a master student, and my spirit will never be stomped out. I am dedicated to oppose those whose will is to divide us and who are determined to keep us in the dark ages of fear. I hear the voices of the unheard. Speak for those who cannot speak and shelter the minds that carry a message of peace, love, and prosperity. I repeat, we are all brothers and sisters. I repeat, we are all brothers and sisters. I repeat, we are all brothers and sisters. 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 We, us, wherever you have been and wherever you will go. Just do the best you can to be kind to your fellow man. Just try and do the best you can today, no matter where you've been, but you can change if you want to change. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of this bullshit, and I want to try to do the best that I can and to have a good time while I'm here. To give it love, to give it love, to give it love, and give it more love. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, thank you. I love that you recited that. You know, especially I'm announcing later what we can a initiative that Spirit Uncensored is doing to inspire each one of us to live from this sentiment each day. So I love that you open with that poem. It's super fitting of I feel like what's happening in the world right now. I think a lot of times, as we kind of said at the beginning, that our attention is on what isn't working for us as opposed to putting our attention on what is working for us, on leaning into love, on celebrating the life that we are currently living. So thank you so much for sharing that, Harris. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to. I think that it's really just perfect for going into this new year. There's a lot of powerful statements in there and a lot of truth that I want to adhere to.
Sure is. Will you email that to me, Harris? We can put it on our Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
All right. So next up, we have two other people who signed up to perform for sure. Both of them are here right now, which is super fortunate. And I think who I'm going to pick on first to go is my friend Nia Ling, Nia Moore, Ling Ling. Baby, go off.
ready,
Thank you for the intro. Uh, so basically, I'm going to be like reciting. It's an older poem of mine, but I do feel like it's appropriate for the times. Because I feel like nowadays we just have to be in our personal power a lot more. So here we go. Don't let anyone take your power. Let your love energy move at 1,000 miles per hour as you dance in love's shower. You know that you are divine feminine energy, and it is clear to see that your love came all the way from Mercury, a planet that is not like ours, but one that is cold, hard, and once had no life on it. Until you approached it with your elegance and self confidence, you allowed the roots to rise and the haters to stare and wish for your love. Well as if you lifted them of a negativity spell, a kneeling. It was really short. It was really short. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
That was excellent. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I love
Thanks.
it, Nia.
When did you write that? That was a couple years ago?
That was in like 2018.
2018? Wow.
I was 17 when I wrote that.
Yeah.
Was that for the poetry hype
No,
after
it was
or before?
somewhere. I don't know. I think
In
it was
that
around that
area?
time.
So for the rest of us, Nia, Jessica, and Harris know each other from teen camp. I
Mhm.
was not at that teen camp. I had the pleasure of meeting Nia on Instagram.
Yes,
That's how you meet people in 2020. Instagram and Zoom.
definitely.
So true.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing that. I think it was really powerful.
No problem, and thank you for having the space open.
Of course. We're going to keep it open too, you know? We got to keep doing this because it's really important to share stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
People are supposed to hear it.
And Nia, if you want to send that to me and maybe an image that we can share on Instagram, I would love to. You let me know.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it.
Great. Thank you.
No problem.
Awesome. So next on the list who of people who already signed up, other than me, of course, was already mentioned. It's my good friend Jessica Moberg who introduced me to Nia. And Jessica is not going to share a poem with us, but she has her own form of festive expression, and I personally appreciate it. It's really close to my heart. And I think that it's important for everyone to kind of just see the aesthetic nature of this. All right, go ahead, Jessica, whenever you're ready.
I am on my phone and in San Diego instead of at home. But every Christmas and holiday season, I dress extremely festive AF. I have a mask right now. Unfortunately, my aunt made me a mask that actually matches my nephew. So whenever we go out, we can match, and they're very festive, but I don't know what they look like yet. And this is one of my vests, and it has, I don't know if you can see behind, but there's 5 Christmas trees on it. There's jingle bells, and I just enjoy buying vintage obnoxious sweaters from a large variety of thrift stores and other places. I think I have enough for all 25 days until Christmas, until December starts. But I haven't been keeping up with taking photos every single day. I always set intentions to do that every year. And then some days I just don't feel like being photogenic. So I don't have them all documented. One day they will all be documented. But today, this is the documentation of my festive AF outfit.
Yes. What about the nails? Do you have the nails done today? Yes.
Yes, I love it so much. Jessica and I was actually helping her move some stuff out of her garage a couple weeks ago, and I noticed that she had so many Christmas sweaters, and we started talking about how it doesn't make any sense that Christmas sweaters are always called ugly when I think they're like the most beautiful form of clothing that there is. Just personally, I really love Christmas sweaters. They're always so creative. And yeah, I really just appreciate how Jessica puts the whole of the season on her entire body. It's just really impressive to me. And I appreciate it.
I agree. Yes.
She did a little turn. I don't know if you saw.
And with the hair and everything.
Mm-hmm. Goes all out. I think that Mariah would be proud.
I agree. I think she would. I also have Christmas socks. I didn't show those off. I have Santa socks. Oh, that's my phone. Santa socks. Yes. Jessica too. Jess Waika also in her Santa socks.
Excellent.
Festive AF. Thank you so much. I love it.
Yes.
Sydney, welcome.
Hi. I saw all of you on Instagram and I said, wait, I want to see everyone. I'm cramming finals, but I wanted to say hi.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Sydney. Do you want to talk a little bit about, because I was just going to transition us anyway to discussing how we generally celebrate the holidays and how we are celebrating it now. Do you want to kick us off with that?
Okay. The holidays are a weird time for me. I have mixed feelings with it. I'm slowly transitioning back into being more festive this year. It's very weird, I will say, because it's kind of foreign now. But it's been good. My mom and I have been doing the bare minimum. We like to watch Hallmark movies and make fun of them, so that's what we've been doing every night. That's pretty much it for me with the holidays. It is an interesting time, especially just with ups and downs in my personal life. It's kind of hard to fully immerse the celebratory times of the holidays, but I'm making the best out of the situation.
It is so good to see your face. Thank you so
I know,
much.
right?
Yes.
I saw all of you and I was like, wait, I need to see them. I need to see them.
I love it. I'm so glad that you're here. And I love that what you do to celebrate the season is making fun of holiday Hallmark movies. Like it's the best way. They're already rife for making fun of. Although this year, Lifetime has the first gay Christmas movie that they've ever had, their first cheesy gay Christmas movie. Hulu had The Happiest Season, which was a lesbian couple. I do not recommend that one at all, but I'm grateful for the fact that it exists. And so we're starting to see that there's representation with cheesy Christmas movies. BET and TV1 show Black Christmas movies. And so it's getting out there, that holiday season of corny festivities with the ugly Christmas sweaters and the whole jazz. So I love that.
I think we should change it to beautiful Christmas sweaters. Like, seriously. Because they're all so good.
I am with you on it, Harris. Beautiful Christmas sweaters. Let's make it a thing. Hashtag beautiful Christmas sweaters. Make it a thing. I support you in that.
We'll put so much energy into that.
Does anybody else want to share what they are doing to stay festive this holiday season, or share what their favorite ways to celebrate this season?
Yes, this is officially the open section of the open mic. So please, we want to hear how you celebrate.
Yeah, if you have something else, another performance that you'd like to share with us, Jessica is dancing in the background. If anybody has anything they'd like to perform, the floor is yours. But also, if you'd like to share a story, Jessica, ready.
My friend just said that we can start decorating her house because she finished finals. So we're gonna do that. I'm cooking for them, but we're gonna be decorating soon too. So Festive AF.
Yes. All right, I'll go. So I mentioned that I grew up both with Christmas and Hanukkah. And so what that meant for me is that my Jewish side of the family got together on one of the days of Hanukkah. Usually it was, if it fell during Christmas, we did it like Christmas Eve or something along those lines. And that's the reason why the Hanukkah blessing that I sang earlier, I only know kind of a little bit because I heard it once a year as opposed to 8 times a year. And we opened presents together as a family. And what I learned about Hanukkah after the fact is that Hanukkah is really more celebrated with presents in America than anywhere else in the world, specifically because Christmas is such a big deal in the States that Hanukkah is a big deal in the States. And so my mother, who is now conservative Jewish and married to a conservative Jewish man, they celebrate Hanukkah in the more traditional way, where they light the candles, they sing the songs, there are no presents at all whatsoever. And usually my family gets together at my aunt's house on Christmas. But this year we're going to do it on Zoom. We met for Thanksgiving on Zoom, and we are still continuing to celebrate regardless of the fact that we cannot do it live in person. What about you, Harris? How does your family usually celebrate, and how are you celebrating this year?
We usually celebrate, I mean, we kind of missed last year for decorating the house, but that's usually what it is. We decorate our house and then we put up our tree and we try and spend more time together, closer and closer to the 25th, Christmas Day. I always love kind of like secondhand celebrating Hanukkah with all of my Jewish friends that are kind of just spread out over the US. Just from camp, I met so many people who celebrate Hanukkah and who always send me all of their super festive snaps and real nice little Hanukkah messages. And I love sharing that. I love being able to share that. And I think a way that I personally celebrate the holidays is by learning more about other traditions. So last year I read quite a bit about Kwanzaa. It just felt like the most prominent thing. It was just right in front of me. And so I just kind of read the sign and started learning more. And I found out that it was actually a holiday that was made in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was super interesting. And I think about how that must have been influenced by the holidays that were already being celebrated here, like Christmas and Hanukkah, because there are a lot of intersectionalities, like the giving of gifts and celebrating your family, and I want to say at the end, like ushering in the new year, but I feel like the new year kind of celebration is a little bit separate. But that's what I love doing on Christmas. Also watching the movies, making fun of them. I saw Jingle Jangle.
I have not seen that yet.
That was my
Yes.
Christmas movie of
I think I'll do it tonight.
It was
Going.
not super about Christmas. It was more about family.
Great. It's even better.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Harris.
Yeah, of course.
My eyes have been killing me. I wonder what this is about. I'll admit I have never mentioned Kwanzaa, and I love that Marsha is here. So Marsha, please check me if I say something inappropriate. I never mentioned Kwanzaa specifically because I feel like for me, what I learned about it when I did my research of what is this holiday, it just kind of I just Googled it real quick to see when it started, as you were talking about it, Harris, and it's 1966. But the person who started it has a really problematic history. And so to sort of not delve into that into a festive celebration, I just kind of ignore Kwanzaa altogether. So I'm glad that you brought it up. I'm glad that you chose to focus on the festive and celebratory parts of it. And I'm glad that because it's my spiritual center, I get to talk about the parts that I find problematic and recognize that this is why we are Spirit Uncensored, not just because we put AF in the title of our events, but also because I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I don't want to put a gloss over or pretend. This is not your friendly Hallmark holiday Christmas special where we are pretending as if things are not what they are. And so I just wanted to point that out, that the reason I've never celebrated this holiday, Kwanzaa specifically, is because I felt like it had a problematic history. So that's me, but I appreciate you sharing that and love that you have that relationship. Jessica, do you want to share I obviously you're super festive, so tell us more about the origin of that and how you celebrate the season.
So I have two different sides of my family. I have the Jewish side of my family that is Jewish by religion, and then I also have Jewish on my family that's Jewish by descent. So I grew up like my entire life celebrating both Christmas and Hanukkah, but like sprinkles of Hanukkah. We have like a Christmas cup party, so like Christmas and Hanukkah meshed together to celebrate both of those holidays, which I love. It was weird this year because we did it via Zoom, and I grew up with like my aunts and uncles, and so now I have all baby cousins, but I'm like the only one without little ones, so I'm too old to be in like the Christmas holiday Hanukkah gift exchange. So it's a weird time now, but I still love it. It was perfect family chaos on Zoom, which is like, it was like we were in person, but like this, which was really fun. And then in the past, I think about maybe 3-4 years ago when I was at Riverside CSL, that spiritual center celebrates Hanukkah, not Hanukkah, all the holidays. Like we always had like a service Christmas Eve that celebrates everything and goes over all the different holidays, including winter solstice and Kwanzaa. And our youth choir also was run by Yvette Brandy, who's an incredible, like I can't express how incredible Yvette is, just like as a human, as a mother, as a like artist, singer, like she's absolutely incredible. And so she taught the teens and the younger youth. Our choir was from, Nia, how old was her youngest? Like 6, 8?
Yeah, like 6 or 7.
And then the oldest person, I ended up singing in the choir because people dropped out. But we had a Kwanzaa celebration at, was it Reverend Jerry's house? Nia?
You mean like for the candle lighting and stuff?
Yes.
That was at the church, but it wasn't that.
They
like,
had a church one, and then they had a separate Kwanzaa party. And
yeah, I didn't go to that.
Oh, well, never mind. So, oh yeah, you were in the choir. You didn't decide, you didn't want to do your ASL stuff. But that's fine. And so we had an awesome choir, and they sang beautiful, beautiful. That would share how their family celebrated Kwanzaa, and we had a large variety of people just express how their individual family celebrated, which I didn't before. Prior to 4 years ago, I had no information about it, so I thought it was really cool to learn a lot of people's different what they do for the holidays. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And love that you have that added extra personal relationship to Kwanzaa. My cousin Rachel chimed in and said she has celebrated Kwanzaa as well, and it was awesome. Clearly, Rachel and I were not we were celebrating Hanukkah together and not celebrating Kwanzaa together. Rachel and I celebrated Hanukkah together probably for like, I'm trying to think of the last time I saw Rachel at Hanukkah. I feel like it was something like, I think I was 18, like it's right at that cutoff where everybody's growing up and not family isn't necessarily meeting together as much anymore. And Rachel lived in Wisconsin or something at the time. And so I didn't see her and oh, there you are. Great. So Rachel, tell us a little bit about how you have been celebrating the holidays since I celebrated them with you. And if you have anything you want to share about how you celebrated the holidays that I was or was not present for, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I miss those holidays together as kids. Those were really fun. I've mostly been doing Christmas, I guess. Like since I've had my daughter, we mostly do Christmas, you know. We haven't really done anything besides Christmas. So since I live in San Francisco now, I don't know if you know that, but since I've been in San Francisco, I've ended up getting to do other stuff. Like I can't remember, I think it was last year, I was in Fillmore and I walked into this building to go to a recovery meeting, and there was like this big party upstairs. And then I found out about the Kwanzaa celebration that they were having all week, and like they make dinner and stuff for you, and there's dancing and like it was, so I ended up going like every night. That was really fun. And then was that last year or the year before? One of the last 2 years I was at home with my dad, and me and my sister, we made potato pancakes together and we made breakfast. We made this big ass breakfast. So that was really nice. I guess that was Christmas. We didn't really talk about any other specific thing. We were just celebrating Christmas. So pretty much I'd just been doing Christmas until I was lucky enough to come do the Kwanzaa thing here. And then we always try to mix a little bit of Hanukkah into our Christmas, but like without my dad there, whatever year it was without my dad there or like anybody from that side of the family, like we just made potato pancakes. We didn't really know what the hell else to do to celebrate Hanukkah, you know, like we didn't have a menorah or anything like that. My sister has one this year. I'm not going to be with any family members this Christmas because I'm working in a women's shelter. So and I work on Christmas. So hopefully I put the tree up at the shelter last night. Hopefully we're gonna, like, they usually somebody cooks a big dinner and stuff like that. So I'll be with my work family celebrating this year. And then hopefully I can find the Kwanzaa festival again because those are really fun.
Great. I love that. I didn't know you were working at a women's shelter. That's amazing. That's such I mean, Jesus-like thing to be doing on Christmas. So props to you for that.
Thanks. I try my best.
I haven't heard anything from Marsha in a bit. So Marsha, feel free to pop on if you are here and have something to say, or let us know in the chat that you're here and have something to say. But I'm going to toss over to Nia if she's interested, open to sharing about her holiday traditions and current choices around the season.
Yeah, sure. So me and my family, we've always like celebrated Christmas, but we're not Christian. It's like we're really just like in it for like the family, the movies, the blankets when it's cold, hot chocolate, you know, just like all the cozy things. Like that's what we do. We love decorating, listening to the Christmas music, specifically like the Black Christmas music. I don't know, it just hits different.
It does hit different.
We just like, I don't know, before like the whole pandemic thing, we used to go, I think it was like Long Beach, and they used to have like a double-decker red bus, and they would like drive you around the neighborhoods and like see all the Christmas lights. They would have like some crazy stuff out there. That's pretty much it as of right now. I know my mom is trying to get into like doing these Christmas Pinterest things. So we're trying to make like stuffed cookies and like hot chocolate bombs and all types of stuff. So it's real cozy over here. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I agree. That is what Christmas is all about to me. Like, that's my stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Christmas tea, like, it is. That's what I mean. That's why it's my favorite season, because it's the time of year where people put up lights. You know, I don't personally. Like I said, you know, growing up with both faiths, I don't have like a religious affiliation with Christmas, and I think very few
Mhm.
Americans do in general. I bet you and me, Nia, are not alone in our Christmas celebration having very little to do with Jesus. I'm all about
Right.
He's great. But I think we also know that Jesus wasn't, well, maybe some of us know, maybe some of us don't, that Jesus was not born on December 25th at all. In fact, there is research that indicates that he was actually born in the middle of the summer. And the reason that we celebrate December 25th has to do with the winter solstice. It was a pagan
Mhm.
holiday, a pagan tradition. The Christmas tree was designed and invented and was a faith tradition long before Jesus was even born. And
Right.
we just kind of wrapped up all of these traditions to make Christianity happen. I think it was
Mhm.
Constantine, the emperor, that was trying to make Christianity happen. So it was, let's use what we are already doing to celebrate the winter solstice. Say it was Jesus's story. I think even I read somewhere that the Virgin Mary story was part of that ancient tradition as well, and they chunked that onto Jesus's story as well. I am not a Bible
Right.
scholar. I'm not about to pretend like I am.
Yeah.
But as I'm saying, you know, the religion, it was kind of designed in a way that was a mishmash of multiple holidays to begin with. So I don't
It was
feel
pieced together, honestly. So yeah.
I'm sorry, say it again, Nia. What'd you say?
It was pieced together. So I understand like all of that.
Exactly. So our holiday celebration of piecing together Hanukkah and Christmaka and the winter solstice
Mhm.
and Kwanzaa, all of that rolls into how Christmas itself was originally invented. So I say that we are just carrying on that tradition. So before I sort of go into announcements with what's happening with Spirit Uncensored and talk a little bit about Spirit Uncensored, is there anything anyone else wanted to share? Any art pieces or holiday expression stories anybody wanted to jump in with? Jessica looked like she wanted to say something and then she walked away.
I have a friend, if you guys want to follow her on Instagram, it's Lost in Yarnia. She creates awesome festive wear. She crochets everything by hand. She's a mother of three and a fabulous human. And I have many of her things. I have one hat that you can actually like have a ponytail out of, and it has like snowflakes, and she makes like Santa hats. Yes, ma'am. And what else does she have? Oh, one of my family's other traditions is, I don't know if this is like a normal thing, but we have a pickle, and it's not a real pickle. It's a glass pickle that Santa hides in the Christmas tree every year. I am 26 years old, and I probably have about 20 of the prizes that we won. My Nana collects spadeware. If anybody knows what that is, it's like Christmas china, basically, and they have a Christmas tree. It's all of them are, if you go to like Ross or anywhere around the holidays, you've probably seen them, and that's like our prize to win for the holidays. And every year I'm the one that finds the pickle. My mom, she might be a little angry sometimes when she doesn't find it, but 90% of the time I'm the one who finds it, which is, I just listen to my intuition and I go wherever the tree tells me to go, which sounds super hippie, but we're at a Festive AF little Zoom festival, so I think that's pretty appropriate.
Totally. Intuition is everything. And I'm so glad that you shared that. The Lost in Narnia, I think you said on Instagram, I put that up there in the chat for people. I am pretty sure I in Chicago, I go to something called the Christkindl Market, which is like their German markets. And in Germany, they're everywhere. And in Chicago, there are 3 of them, although they are not having them this year for obvious reasons. And in the Christkindl Market, they talk all about that Christmas pickle. They have Christmas pickle ornaments, and they sell Glühwein, which is like a mulled spice wine that comes in a commemorative cup. And usually there's a pickle that's on the commemorative cup. I just happen not to be drinking out of one right now. So it's a thing in Germany.
What that is and where I can purchase it?
Yes, I will. Christkindl Market is what the event is called. There is one in California. It's in the Bay Area. Carmel, I think, is maybe where it is. It's somewhere in Central California. They have one. Sonoma, maybe something like that. But it is a German thing, the Christmas pickle, and I learned from going there. So
I did not have that information. I did not know where that originated from. So thank you.
Glad I could hook you up. Look at me being a wealth of Christmas knowledge today. So Spirit Uncensored, usually, we decided that we were going to talk a little bit about this at the end because I have some announcements. First announcement is Ahaya Center for Spiritual Living, which is the spiritual center that usually hosts Spirit Uncensored when we are live in person. Harris just now happens to be the administrator there, which is super exciting. And I am installed as a minister there as well. And so Ahaya is hosting a sing-along, a holiday themed sing-along on Zoom on Christmas Eve. So I just put their website in the chat there if anybody is interested in joining that. And if you are enjoying this experience or anything that Spirit Uncensored provides, you are more than welcome to make a donation on our website. I just threw that up there. My cousin Rachel has been a great supporter of us for the last couple of months. I'm very grateful for it. But if you are enjoying what we have to provide, all of your donation goes towards like the bookkeeper, and for us to function, pays the marketing person so that this exists. That's where that all goes. At some point, I will be looking to get a salary for myself because I've been working really hard for 2 years, and I feel like it's time for me to start taking some of those donations, especially because I'm not currently working full time. I think I'm going to be leaning into ministry a little bit more in 2021. And speaking to this idea of leaning into ministry, I am launching something called the Best Day Ever Movement in 2021. Hashtag Best Day Ever Movement. And I want to ask all of you to participate in it with me. So the idea, the concept itself, started from at the Global Truth Center in LA. My wife and I used to attend that center pretty regularly. Sydney is very familiar with it. And James Mellon, a lot of you know who he is. Reverend James Mellon, Reverend Dr. James Mellon gave a talk about living each day as the best day ever. And this was back in 2015 at a time when I was not experiencing the kind of success or joy that I had been looking for. I'd been taking all of these classes. I think I was studying to be a practitioner at the time and was just not getting where I wanted to go. And when my wife heard this talk, she just went all in on this idea of living every day as the best day ever. And at the time, I was not in the mood to live my life with each day as the best day ever. But just like tithing, just like every other spiritual practice that I've been introduced to, I was open to try it, to see how it feels. And I learned through my own experience of choosing to be conscious of the fact that my intention of the day creates my reality. It also helped me reframe challenges that I faced in my life. When I sat back and thought about the day and asked myself, what made this the best day ever? If the day was terrible, what I can really think about were how I showed up in a way that was better or different or unique, or what huge lesson that I've learned. Maybe I'm never speaking to this person again based on what they did. And now I know that this is who this person is. And so I know I don't need to fuck with them anymore. Like whatever it is, I got some sense, some understanding of how this day really was the best day ever in some way. And with 2020 being what it's been, I feel like it's a really good time for each one of us individually to commit to living each day as the best day ever. So what I am asking is on January 1st to do the very best that you can to live each day conscious of this intention and talking about it on social media using this hashtag best day ever movement. I have created on our Spirit Uncensored page and on my Rev Karen page as well, but on our Spirit Uncensored website, I've created some information about it. So if you wanted to share it or talk about it or explain what it is that you're doing and where it is that it came from. And just, I have a list of hashtags too, that would be great if you can use just to help get the word out and inspire each person, as instead of focusing on the things that aren't going right and judging each other and criticizing each other. Like, let's focus on what's going well. Let's start each day living from this intention, trusting that it'll be the best day ever, and do everything that we can to start a movement of gratitude to inspire each person on social media, whoever it is that sees it. And so what I will be doing starting January 1st is I'm going to go on Instagram at any given time of day, because I don't know how my life is going to unfold. So instead of having like at this time, I'm just going to get online on Instagram Live and talk about the intention, talk about a spiritual principle that I'm using to remind me that it's the best day ever. Talk about if it's at the end of the day, I might talk about what spiritual principle I use to help me get through a challenge to see that it's the best day ever. So I'm inviting you all to participate in this movement with me. How does that feel? You have thoughts, feelings, questions, ideas, beliefs. Do you feel like it's a terrible idea that's not going to take off? What are your thoughts?
Well, you already know that I think it's a wonderful idea. And what I was just thinking of, and what I was thinking of the first time you told me about this movement that you wanted to begin, is that it's really something that you can just remember anytime you have a super feel-good moment. And if you let that make your day from there, then it creates the best day ever out of maybe something that you were never expecting, or something that you were absolutely expecting, or like, you know, anything that just makes your day so good. I think that what this inspires me to do is try and really look at the fact that I'm alive each and every day, and that I get to wake up, and that lets me have the best day ever before I even start the day.
Thank you so much, Harris.
That's what I'm gonna try and do.
All right. So nobody has any other, Jessica's unmuting herself, it looks like. Jessica's not unmuting herself. So I am going to keep talking is what's happening as I'm looking at her, and she will jump in if she has something to say. So just to give you a heads up about what's happening with Spirit Uncensored moving forward, in addition to leading this movement of living each day as the best day ever, in January, we have our Sunday Night Live events on the second Sunday of every month. And that's what this is right here, is our Sunday Night Live. So the second Sunday in January, my cousins and I will be talking about the experience of this best day ever thing just kind of works with it. We plan this date in advance, but the theme is living our best quarantine lives. And I have some cousins who are talking about their experience of how they've been living their best quarantine life. And I will be talking about mine as well. And in February, we are doing an interfaith panel of Black ministers because it is African American History Month. March is Mixed Race Heritage Month. And so Harris and I will be in a panel talking about our experience of being mixed race. Sydney, do you want to join that? Are you interested in being a speaker on that?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say I was getting off the phone with my boyfriend, and I went on Instagram. I saw all of your stories, and I was like, I felt so gravitated to you guys. I don't know what it was. And I said, I'm going to have to push off this final right now. And I'm going to have to jump on this because something's pulling me here. I don't know why. Because I'm like, all of you, for the most part, with Harris and with you, I'm like, I know we all have a very mixed heritage. And for me this year, I've been pulling everything I can to figure out who I am and where I come from, because I have a Jewish heritage as well as a Black heritage as well as an Italian heritage, and who knows whatever else there is. And I'd love that. I'd
Great.
absolutely love that.
So I'm going to reach out to you on Instagram and get like your bio and stuff for that. So I'm glad that you're here to remind me that you would be great for that panel. Fantastic. So that's that. And then there's then more stuff in April. So second Sunday, April's Easter. So that's just what it is. We'll figure out what Easter is. But May is Mother's Day. And then in June, we're going to be doing a celebration of the Best Day Ever movement. We'll be at our halfway point in living from this intention. And so it'll be a space where everybody can come on and talk about their experience of 6 months in to living this intention. So that's what we're doing in June, and that halfway point. And we are all planned out from then. So that's great news for me, because I've never planned 6 months of Spirit Uncensored events this far in advance. So I'm very happy about that. So unless anybody else has any questions, thoughts, feelings, anything they want to share, I will pray us out. Yes, Jessica.
I don't know if you're aware, but there is, I believe, a Kesha song from the, what's it called, movie? The Little Angry Birds movie. Mm-hmm. And there's a song called like The Best Day Ever. It's a very obnoxious, like perfect, like children's song, but very fitting.
I appreciate it. I had no idea that there was a Best Day Ever song from Kesha. So thank you. I'm going to look for that and use it. I appreciate it. All right. So I invite us to get comfortable in our spaces once again, settling into the present, recognizing what a gift it is that we have come here together to celebrate, to honor these winter holidays, and to not honor these winter holidays in some ways. To know that living our uncensored lives allows us to live a life of authenticity, to see the good in every experience, to be grateful for the fact that we have access to hot water, grateful for the fact that we have access to climate control, grateful for the fact that many of us are living in a state that is very mild in temperature compared to people in other parts of the country right now. And I'm so grateful for each person who's brought their heart, their attention, their art, their experience to this evening, knowing that each one of us goes out expressing our authenticity in bigger and better and badass ways than ever before. Grateful for any person's intention or inspiration to lean into this idea of living each day as the best day ever starting January 1st, and knowing that each one of us are participating consciously in a movement to create positive change, to inspire good, to inspire gratitude in the world. So I'm so grateful for each person who has brought their energy to this experience, grateful for every donation made, grateful for all of the shifts that take place in our lives because we have come here to participate in this festive event in this way, this festive AF event in this way. And with gratitude, I just let this be so as we affirm this by saying, and so it is, amen.